Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at my work boots I've been using for the past month, and these are the Danner Power Foreman 8-inch composite toe. Alright, so we're gonna talk about these, a little bit of background on me. I've been a auto body painter for about 15 years, and for the last 4 years I've been doing production mechanic, automation, robotics, and now a little bit of refrigeration. So we're doing that now, and so we're in all kinds of different kind of work atmospheres, climbing in and out of big machinery. And you guys who work for a living, which is like probably well over 50% of my channel, know what I'm talking about. So let's talk about these boots and why I think they could be good for you. If not, that's up to you. But you know, given what I do for a living, maybe you'd be able to make that decision for yourself, going by what I'm about to tell you. So these are the Power Foreman 8-inch composite toe, like I said. And so let's just talk a little bit about how these bad boys are made. They are 100% made in the USA, and they proudly put that right there with that beautiful American flag. You got your Danner stamp in the back, double stitching, full grain leather, the highest grain leather. They put this leather through all kinds of tests before they even put it on any of their products. So it's triple stitched. As you can see, the triple stitching that's running all through this boot. You got your Kelty here for your tongue, because your tongue, you know, give you a little bit more reinforcement on your tongue there. I don't use the Kelty, but you know, I might start using it because you do feel the difference in that area right there when you are working, especially as far as the cold goes. There's a freezer where I work. The building's a giant refrigerator, so essentially in the freezer room, it gets pretty cold. Having a steel toe, not an option, so you can't have that where I work. Because you know your toe will freeze in the freezer, and that's not good. A lot of times steel toes are so just dangerous as far as getting stuff ran over, and you can cut your foot off and all those kind of things. So composite toe, non-metallic, everything about these boots as far as protection wise goes, I guess we'll get into that a little bit. These boots are EH rated, so that means electrical hazard rated. So nothing that these boots are made out of will conduct electricity. They're leather, these are brass eyelids and speed pins. There's no steel in it or metal or metallic or anything like that. They won't set off metal detectors. This composite toe will not transmit heat or cold, so it just kind of stays where it is, and you can feel it. And I can vouch for that, being in a freezer for about 45 plus minutes, having these boots not have my foot frozen inside. These are not insulated, but they do have a GORE-TEX liner, but it just seems to be enough with this nice, thick, heavy grain made in the USA leather. It just seems to be enough. So as far as everything out where I go work, it's, you know, pretty cold also, and the cooler and everything, but it's they're just fine. Not you know, a little bit sweaty actually, if anything. So the outsole on this is a Christy outsole. It does have a sew-down weld on this Christy outsole, so that means you can change it. And that sew-down weld is, you can probably barely see it, but there's a little layer here where they can chop it to put new soles on here. And this is a really soft outsole, and it's nice and flexible, and you know, your foot's pretty comfortable in here. The outsole is also slip resistant. So that's a nice feature that I always find useful when I'm walking through like something that's wet, or you know, somewhere I can slip. And I really like always get non-slip, but these for whatever reason are a little bit more non-slip. I've had slip resistant boots before that seem to be able to slide around anyway, but these are pretty good. I don't know if it's because of the weight, which is another thing I'd like to mention. These are not toys. They're heavy. They're a heavy boot. This boot's 86 ounces. They are heavy. It's a really good work boot. You're paying for all that material. You're gonna feel it, but you know, all in all, at the end of the day, as far as your comfortability goes in your foot and working and not having pain in your foot, it's all good. You might feel that weight on your legs and your upper thigh a little bit, like walking upstairs, or if you know, climbing a lot of ladders and stuff like that, but it's not too noticeable for me, and I think it's just fine, because I have to climb the crane sometimes, and there's these big cranes that go 90, 100 feet up in the air, and you gotta, you know, latch on and harness up with your frog, and you gotta climb up that ladder, and you know, there's stairs and 3-level stairs and stuff. So I do a lot of climbing for what my job is, and they're just fine. So they are 100% waterproof. So, you know, that's all. And it's a really good feature, especially if you work outside a lot. You know, they're 100% waterproof. So you have that. The polyurethane footbed inside, it is removable, so you can switch that if you want to. I don't know why you would, because they're very comfortable. And then you have your insole here, which is, you know, a pretty standard one, but there's something about this one. It's very, very comfortable. Usually I'll switch the insole out on my boots, but I haven't needed to do that with these ones. Like on the Thorogoods, I always switched out the insole. But these ones, at first I thought I might have to. Then I gave it that week break-in period, and now they're just fine, and they are exceptionally comfortable. And, you know, I don't see any need to change them. And you can see, I mean, I've been putting these things through a little bit of a rigorous couple of last weeks here. They're starting to get broken in. They're starting to form to my foot better. And you know, they're starting to manipulate my working conditions, and like how I like to work and tie them and move. I like my boot a little bit loose so I can move around a little bit. So let's get into the pricing. These boots are expensive. They're not cheap. These are plus $400 boots with shipping. I think I paid about $419 to get these shipped directly from Danner, and because I wanted to make sure I had the warranty and everything like that. And they do have a 365-day warranty, but make sure you read that warranty card, because there are some little details in there that you might want to know. So the warranty card's important with Danner boots, so make sure you check that out. But they are expensive, and it's hard to come on here and justify spending that type of money on boots when you're just going to tear them up and work in them every day. But think of it like this. You buy these, this is an investment. And, you know, I'm not going to tell you it's going to make you the better worker or anything like that, but it's going to make you more confident and more comfortable during the day, thus making you more productive during the day, and also save you money in the end, because if you're spending this kind of money on a boot, you're not buying boots again next year, and you're not buying boots again a year later, and maybe even for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, because you can get the sole replaced on these. So, you know, it's really entirely up to you, unless you buy them and you hate them. But, you know, if you give them a chance, and, you know, I generally don't go for these 8-inch height boots, and I took a risk on them, and I absolutely love them. I like how it protects my heel. I like how I can't roll. It would be much harder to roll an ankle, and you get that extra protection up here. The EH rating, the non-slip, the composite toe that, you know, protects you from cold and heat, which is nice to be in the freezer, and just have all those little options there. And to be a comfortable, really 100% leather, made in USA boot to begin with is, you know, represent that USA. And we always do that on Hard City. And not to mention that they're so good looking. Like, I know some guys don't like the Kelty on there. On the other ones, that's what they look like without it on. So, you know, they are nice. They're going to stay looking good for quite some time, and as time goes on, this leather starts to break in. They start to, you know, fit like an old leather gun holster, and your foot just slides and locks right in there, and they're just really nice. And, you know, that leather starts to get worn. You can start brushing that and cleaning it and making them new. I can't see an option. I can't see a day where it's going to come where I'm going to see some torn stitching or anything like that. So it's just something that's not going to happen with these boots, with the craftsmanship, and it goes a long way. So when you're spending that kind of money on a boot, just know that you're getting the highest quality boot you can probably spend without getting like a custom made boot done from like Nick's Boots or something like that. So which are like Wildland firefighter boots, and they do make other types of boots, and there's all kinds of custom boot places out there. But if you're just going to go and you want to spend a good money on a boot, you're not afraid to spend a little bit of money to you know, get the best work gear you possibly can. I don't think you can go wrong with the Danner Power Foreman. I think it's a certain type of guy that it's going to buy a boot like this. I don't think it's an every worker type of boot, but you know, it is for an every worker type of boot. But I think it takes a certain guy that is going to justify himself. And I'm not saying you have to spend $400 on a boot and that's going to make you the best worker. That's definitely not true at all. Because, you know, a lot of guys have the best gear and they don't even know how to use it. But if you do know how to use it, and you are a guy who just wants a good boot that's going to last long and, you know, help you along the way to be more productive, that is what this boot's gonna do for you. And then offer all that protection, and again, made in USA, and they're just good looking. So, that is my Danner Power Foreman boot overlook, and if you guys would be so kind as to leave a like, a share, a subscribe, and if you want to become a Patreon member, that's a great way to support the channel. But like, share, and subscribing is ultimately the best way to support my channel. And if you guys have any comments or questions, leave below. I'll leave all the information for this boot in the link below, also where to get them. And that's it. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your week. I love you all. Peace.